but I had gotten interested in local politics. Interestingly enough, to me at least, was about signs, retail and restaurant signs.
Yeah.
And driving down McGalliard, there were most of the ordinances allowed for signs to be on these tall poles, and it looked like an interstate exit.
Yeah.
And I and others didn't feel like it was attractive, so I started attending the variance board meetings, and we would say, hey, can you take it down 10 feet? Can you take it down 20 feet? Can you do monument signs? And with the first success that we had as a group that kind of we weren't opposed to business, but we were opposed to the look and feel of how McGalliard was becoming. So the one that kind of tipped me over the top was Panda Express.
Yeah.
Their sign is actually higher than the Walmart. They're in the Walmart parking lot, and higher than the Lowe's, which is right next door. And I just didn't feel like that was appropriate. Started looking into who makes these ordinances, how all this worked.
Yeah.
My old high school civics started coming back, and I thought, oh, local government. Well, I then looked up where do I live, and actually ended up running for council and lost by a few votes that first time. This was back in 07, I guess, something like that, 05 or 07.
Where do you live in Muncie?
We live in the center part of the city. We're in what would be the Minnetrista neighborhood.
Yeah.
So we're right on McCullough Boulevard, right on the White River Greenway. We bought an old house. It had been foreclosed. Exactly. It had been converted into 4 apartments. We unconverted it, and so we love it.
I love that area.
It's a block and a half from Minnetrista. It's actually a block from Minnetrista, a block and a half from Muncie Central, and 29 steps to the White River Greenway, which then connects to the Cardinal Greenway. And as a runner, that was a big bonus for me.
That's a great exercise path, just biking and running.
Absolutely.
And stuff. I put in a lot of miles on there. Yeah.
So, but while I was at Mutual, so I was at Mutual, I was in my position, and I said, is it possible I can run for city council? And they said, well, you can't do any council business at the office. And I said, I promise. And they allowed me to do that, and I kept business apart and wouldn't vote on anything that had to do with Mutual or anything that might have a conflict. And during my time on council is when some of the challenges in the city, the previous administration, started to appear. And my wife and I, our 4 kids were all out of the house all through college. We were financially positioned reasonably well, but reasonably well. And I talked to my wife about running for mayor. It was a substantial pay cut, but I just felt like the city needed to change directions, and I thought maybe my business background and my banking background might be beneficial, and I think it's proven that was the case, but my wife said okay, so then I went to the bank, because this was different. My request at the bank this time, when I talked to Pat Botts and then Dave Heater at the bank, was, I want to run for mayor. I think I can really make a difference in this city, but I need 2 things. Number one, if I run and lose, I want to make sure I can keep my position.
Yeah.
And they agreed to that. And then I said, if I run and win, I'm going to give you notice for the end of the year. And, I won't be in my position because I'll be mayor starting January 1st. And they agreed, felt like it would be good for the city if I were there. Ended up getting voted in, and started moving forward at that point. So that's how it all became. It was all about signs on tall poles on McGalliard is what got my interest in politics, and got on the council, and then was able to see some things from the council viewpoint, which handles the finances, that I could see that the government was going down a bad road.